What if I told you that the very vegetable you eat every single day, the one that seems harmless, maybe even praised as a superfood, could actually be silently damaging your blood vessels, spiking your blood pressure, and putting you at risk of stroke overnight? Sounds hard to believe, right? But it's the reality I've seen with so many of my patients. Over 50, my name is Dr. David Mitchell. I'm 60 years old, and for more than 30 years, I've worked with thousands of older adults. And I can tell you one thing for sure, strokes never just happen out of nowhere. They are the result of small habits repeated over time, and choosing the wrong vegetables can be one of the most silent but deadly culprits. But here's the good news. Alongside those dangerous vegetables, there are others simple, easy to find, and delicious that act like a natural shield. They clean out your arteries, lower your blood pressure, and keep your brain sharp. I've seen patients in their 60s, 70s, even 80s turn their health around just by swapping a few vegetables. Their stroke risk dropped and they regained clarity and energy. In today's video, I'm going to reveal the 5 worst vegetable groups that can silently destroy your arteries and the 10 best vegetables that protect your brain and prevent stroke. Stay with me until the end because the most dangerous vegetable might already be sitting in your kitchen. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button and turn on the bell so you'll never miss another health tip designed just for you. And if you like this video, type yes in the comments. If not, type no so I know how I can create even better content for you. All right, let's get started with the 5 worst vegetable groups that can silently damage the arteries of older adults. Part 1. Why some vegetables can actually harm seniors. Have you ever asked yourself, how could something as natural as vegetables possibly be harmful to my health? I hear this question all the time from my patients. And honestly, I understand because I used to believe that vegetables were always safe and healthy too. But after more than 30 years working with seniors, I've learned something important. Health is not just about the name of the food. It's about how it's prepared, the condition of your body, and the medical issues you may already have. Let me share a little story. One of my patients, Robert, a 72-year-old man, came to see me after a sudden spike in his blood pressure. He said, "Doctor, I don't eat salty foods. I only enjoy pickled cucumbers. Every day they make my meals taste better." But here's the truth, that harmless-looking jar of pickles was packed with sodium. And that sodium pushed his blood pressure up, strained his arteries, and forced his heart to work overtime. Just a little bit of bad luck, and Robert could have had a stroke right there at home. That's exactly why seniors need to look at vegetables with a more careful eye. Some of them, especially when they're processed, pickled, canned, deep-fried, turn from being healthy into a burden on the body. And remember, your heart and brain after 60 or 70 years are far more sensitive than they were when you were younger. Just a little extra salt, bad fat, or sugar can be the drop that overflows the bucket, leading to a heart attack or a stroke. Think of your heart as a pump that's been working nonstop for decades. Anything that makes it work harder, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high blood sugar, is like piling extra weight on a machine that's already worn down. And those so-called healthy vegetables that are actually loaded with salt, oil, or sugar, they become that extra weight. Many people also assume that if vegetables aren't fried or salty, they're always safe. But there's another side to the story: interactions with medication. Take vitamin K, for example. Leafy greens like kale and spinach are excellent foods for most people. But if you're on blood thinners like warfarin, too much vitamin K can interfere with the medication. That means the drug may not prevent clots as it should, and that's one of the top causes of stroke. So you see, the problem isn't the vegetable itself, it's whether it fits your body, your health conditions, and your medications. What's healthy for one person might actually be dangerous for another. And seniors, because of age, chronic conditions, and daily medications, are especially vulnerable. I want you to start asking yourself, what vegetables am I eating every day? Where do they come from? How are they prepared? These are not small questions. They could be the very key to avoiding a sudden heart attack. One of my patients once told me, "Doctor, I never thought French fries could be dangerous. I just thought it's still potatoes, and potatoes are vegetables, so they must be fine." But when you drown that potato in oil and sprinkle on salt, it's no longer the same food. It becomes a bomb of cholesterol and sodium building up silently in your arteries. And then one day when the artery narrows just a little more, that's when stroke comes knocking without warning. Now, I know this might sound heavy, but trust me, I'm not sharing this to scare you. I'm sharing it to give you power, the power of understanding. Once you know why certain vegetables can harm you, you won't eat on autopilot anymore. You'll pause before reaching for that jar of pickles you'll choose steaming instead of frying, and you'll be able to recognize which foods are quietly working against your health. Because at the end of the day, your health, your heart, and your brain deserves to be protected with smart choices. And believe me, these small daily choices can make the difference between living free and strong or facing a sudden heart attack or stroke. What I'm about to share with you next might completely change the way you snack forever. If you're still watching and you found this information helpful, go ahead and drop the number 1 in the comments to let me know you were with me. Now let's move on to the next part. Part 2, specific vegetables to avoid or limit. Now let's go deeper. I know many of you are wondering, so which vegetables should I actually be careful with? What exactly should I avoid to protect my heart and brain? That's the most practical question. And honestly, it's the one that keeps me up at night when I see my senior patients unknowingly eating foods that look harmless but carry hidden risks. First, processed vegetables high in sodium. When we talk about the risk of stroke and heart attack in seniors, there's a silent enemy that often slips under the radar: salt. And I don't just mean the salt you sprinkle on your food, but the hidden sodium packed into processed vegetables, pickles, sauerkraut, canned corn, canned beans. They're familiar, convenient, sometimes even comforting. But for seniors, they can be ticking time bombs for the heart and blood vessels. I'll never forget Susan, age 71. She came to see me with chronically high blood pressure. When I asked about her diet, she smiled and said, "Doctor, I don't eat salty food. Just a little pickled cucumber. At lunch, it's been my favorite since childhood." But in reality, that little jar of pickles can contain an entire day's worth of sodium. And that extra sodium forces the heart to pump harder, tightens blood vessels like overstretched strings, and drives up the risk of stroke. The tough part is this: many seniors assume that if it's a vegetable, it must be healthy. But I want you to picture sodium like tiny grains of sand falling into a glass jar, your blood pressure. A few grains are not a problem, but day after day, year after year, the jar fills up. And when it spills over, the result is often a sudden heart attack or stroke. No warning, no time to prepare. And it's not just pickles. Canned vegetables are culprits too. Take Thomas, is 69, who lives alone and values convenience. He regularly bought canned corn and beans, thinking he was making a healthy choice. "It's still vegetables, right, doctor?" he said. But on every label, the sodium and preservatives were sky high. Those so-called healthy cans were quietly pushing his blood pressure and cholesterol out of control, edging him closer to a stroke. You see, the problem isn't the vegetables themselves, it's how they're preserved and processed. To keep them from spoiling, manufacturers load them with salt. And seniors whose hearts and vessels are already more fragile are the ones who suffer most from this sodium overload. So I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, this week, how many times did I eat pickles, canned vegetables, or other processed foods? The answer might surprise you. What's the solution? First, get into the habit of reading food labels. If you must buy canned vegetables, look for ones marked low sodium or no salt added. It's a small step, but it makes a big difference for your heart. Second, go back to fresh or unsalted frozen vegetables. Steamed, boiled, or added into soups, fresh veggies not only preserve vitamins and minerals, but also give you full control over salt in your meals. Trust me, after just a few weeks of cutting back on processed foods, you'll notice steadier blood pressure, better sleep, and a heart that feels lighter. I want you to remember one simple truth: every extra spoon of salt today could cost you a heartbeat tomorrow. But every smart choice, every low-sodium meal, is a gift you're giving your brain and heart, allowing them to stay strong and steady for many more years without being interrupted by a sudden stroke or heart attack. Second, be careful with fried vegetables loaded with unhealthy fats. There's one eating habit I often see in many seniors: frying vegetables. On the surface, it sounds harmless. After all, it's still vegetables, right? But in reality, it hides serious risks for your heart and brain. Think about French fries, golden, crispy, irresistible. Then sweet potato, fries, onion rings, even deep-fried cauliflower or eggplant. These foods often carry memories of youth family dinners or fun moments with grandchildren. But here's the truth, just a small serving of fries can pack enough saturated fat and trans fat to raise your bad cholesterol, speeding up the hardening of your arteries. I remember my patient James, 66. He used to say, "Doctor, I don't eat fatty meats, I just love my fries." But his blood work told a different story. High cholesterol, unstable blood pressure. After looking closer, we found the real culprit, his nightly habit of eating fried vegetables. You see, when oil is heated to high temperatures, it turns into harmful compounds that silently damage blood vessel walls and trigger inflammation inside the body. What makes this dangerous is that it happens slowly over years. You still feel fine, still walk every morning, still enjoy your meals. But inside your heart and brain are quietly weakening. And one day all it takes is a tiny blood clot or a blocked artery, and suddenly a stroke or heart attack strikes without warning. So what's the solution? It's not about giving up your favorite foods entirely, but about changing the way you cook them. Instead of deep frying, try baking, steaming, or lightly sautéing with a little olive oil. For example, roasted potatoes with herbs taste delicious. Keep the fiber and vitamins and don't overload your heart. Even roasted onions stay sweet and tasty without raising cholesterol. I want you to remember this: vegetables are nature's gift. But once they're dunked in hot oil, that gift turns into a burden for your heart. Give yourself the chance to enjoy the natural, healthy flavor of vegetables, so you keep the taste, but also protect your health, staying far away from stroke and heart attack. Next, I want to bring up a group of vegetables that most people never really think about, the ones high in oxalates. You've probably heard the saying, you can never go wrong with vegetables. And in many ways, that's true. Veggies are packed with vitamins, minerals, and fiber, all of which are essential for a strong heart and brain. But as I often tell my patients, nothing is 100% safe if we don't use it the right way. Take oxalate-rich vegetables, for example, like spinach, beets, or Swiss chard. For many, these are considered superfoods because they're loaded with iron, folate, and antioxidants. But for seniors, especially those with kidney disease, diabetes, or heart issues, these foods can actually carry a hidden downside. Here's why: once oxalates enter your body, they bind with calcium and form tiny crystals known as oxalate stones. I once treated a gentleman named Harold, 68 years old, who loved his daily spinach smoothies. A few years later, he developed painful kidney stones and chronic back pain. His test results showed very high oxalate levels. He asked me, surprised, "Doctor, I thought vegetables were supposed to be healthy. How did I end up sick?" And that's the truth. Most people don't realize eating too many high oxalate foods can actually harm you. It gets even more concerning. Oxalates can indirectly affect heart health too. When calcium in your blood gets trapped by oxalates, your bones weaken, while your arteries are more likely to develop deposits and harden. Over time, that process increases the risk of stroke and heart attack in older adults. Think of your body like a garden. If the garden gets filled with little rocks, those oxalates, the water streams or blood flow can't move smoothly anymore. They get blocked, the soil dries out, and plants struggle to survive. For the body, that means weaker kidneys, a tired heart, and fragile blood vessels. Now, here's the good news. You don't need to cut out these vegetables completely. The key is balance. You can still enjoy spinach or beets, but boil or steam them first and toss away the cooking water, since oxalates dissolve in water. Mix them with lower oxalate veggies like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, or pumpkin. And most importantly, stay well hydrated so your body can flush those oxalates out. What I really want you to remember is this: smart eating is better than extreme eating. Just because something is labeled as superfood doesn't mean more is always better. After 60, your body changes a lot, and every choice you make at the dinner table directly impacts your heart and your brain. Fourth, another group is vegetables cooked with added sugar. When I was a child, I remember every time I visited my grandmother in the countryside, she would make sweet glazed sweet potatoes for the whole family. That warm, sweet aroma still brings back memories of family gatherings. In fact, many sugar-coated vegetable dishes, like candied sweet potatoes, honey-glazed carrots, or fruit soaked in syrup, are tied to family traditions and comfort food. But once we reach our 60s, our bodies don't work the same way they did in our 20s. That harmless added sugar can quickly become a burden. I once treated a patient, Mrs. Elaine, 72 years old. She loved eating sweet glazed sweet potatoes every morning, thinking it was good for digestion. But after years of this habit, she gained weight, her blood sugar climbed, and one day she ended up in the hospital with a mild heart attack. When we checked, excess sugar in her diet turned out to be a key factor speeding up her heart problems. Why does this happen? It's simple. When we add sugar to vegetables, the glycemic index, GI, shoots up, spiking blood sugar quickly. For seniors, the pancreas doesn't work as efficiently, and insulin isn't as responsive as before. This raises the risk of type 2 diabetes, obesity, and heart disease, all major drivers of stroke and heart attack. On top of that, extra sugar in the blood acts like sticky glue clinging to blood vessel walls. Over time, this causes inflammation, plaque buildup, and fragile arteries. I often tell my patients, imagine the water pipes in your house coated with sticky syrup. One day the flow will get blocked. And in your body, that's when your heart and brain start crying out for help. So what should we do? First, cut back on sugar-coated or syrupy vegetables. If you enjoy sweetness, rely on the natural sugars already inside vegetables, like boiled sweet potatoes, steamed carrots, or roasted beets. They taste great and provide fiber that helps keep blood sugar stable. Another tip, instead of white sugar, try spices like cinnamon, ginger, or vanilla for a naturally sweet, fragrant flavor. In fact, studies show cinnamon may even improve insulin sensitivity and lower post-meal blood sugar. The most important message I want to leave you with is this. Love your body by choosing natural foods. Vegetables are already amazing. They don't need added sugar to be nutritious. Sometimes the sweetest thing isn't in the food itself, but in staying healthy long enough to keep enjoying precious moments with your children and grandchildren. Group 5, charred or high temperature roasted vegetables. Have you ever sat by a charcoal grill and smelled that irresistible aroma of roasted corn, onions, or sweet potatoes? For many of us, it's part of childhood memories, a flavor that feels special. But as a doctor, I need to point out that delicious smoky smell sometimes comes with hidden risks for your heart and brain. When vegetables are roasted or charred at very high temperatures, especially when you see that blackened layer, it's not just a little extra flavor. That process creates harmful compounds like acrylamide and free radicals, which research has shown can inflame blood vessels and increase the risk of stroke and heart attack in seniors. I once had a patient, Margaret, age 72. She told me she ate charcoal roasted potatoes almost every week just for variety. Over time, she developed high blood pressure and unstable cholesterol. When I explained that her favorite roasted foods were actually contributing to the problem, she was shocked. I thought potatoes were healthy. I never imagined they could hurt my heart. The concern doesn't stop there. High heat destroys many nutrients in vegetables. Vitamin C, for example, a powerful antioxidant, almost disappears after long exposure to fire. What's left is often just charred black crust carrying toxins. And think about it, your blood vessels are the ones paying the price year after year. I often tell patients, your blood vessels are like highways. If they're constantly exposed to smoke dust and corrosion, they break down faster. Charred vegetables do the same. They add another layer of damage inside those vessels, making them stiff and weak. One day it's your heart or brain that suffers. Now, this doesn't mean you must give up grilled foods completely. I understand it feels like something's missing if you can't enjoy roasted corn on a chilly afternoon. But there are safer ways. Roast at moderate heat, avoid burning, or use an electric oven that controls the temperature. And most importantly, balance it with healthier cooking methods like steaming, boiling, or lightly stir-frying with heart-friendly oils. Remember this, the way you cook your food can shape the health of your blood vessels. Sometimes just changing one small habit lowers your risk of stroke and heart attack dramatically. And that might be the greatest gift you can give yourself and the people who love you. Finally, group 6 is starchy vegetables that are high in refined starch. There's a common misunderstanding among many seniors. People often think that all vegetables are completely safe. But have you ever wondered, why do I keep gaining weight, my blood sugar stays high, and my heart feels weaker, even though I eat a lot of potatoes, corn, or sweet potatoes? The answer is simple. Not all vegetables are created equal. Some vegetables, especially those high in refined starch like French fries, processed corn, or cassava, quickly break down into sugar once they enter your body. That sugar rushes straight into your bloodstream, spiking your blood sugar, then dropping it suddenly. That's why after a starchy meal, you may feel tired, sleepy, or even weak in your arms and legs. The real danger is when this cycle repeats over and over. It raises your risk of diabetes, high blood pressure, stroke, and heart attack. I once had a patient, Martha, 72 years old. She loved canned sweet corn and mashed potatoes with lots of butter. Martha truly believed in its vegetables, so it must be healthy. But her tests showed prediabetes and high cholesterol. When I explained the real cause, she was shocked. I never imagined vegetables could hurt my heart. What's even more concerning is that as we age, our bodies become less sensitive to insulin. So when seniors eat too many refined starches, the pancreas has to work overtime to produce insulin, leading to metabolic dysfunction. This is the foundation of type 2 diabetes, a direct risk factor for stroke and heart attack. Think of your blood vessels like city roads. When blood sugar is too high, it's like sending heavy trucks over those roads day after day. They crack, form potholes, and wear out. In your body, those potholes are the damaged artery walls where plaque builds up and blocks blood flow. The solution isn't to eliminate starchy vegetables completely, but to eat them wisely. If you eat potatoes, eat them whole, baked, or steamed rather than mashed or fried. If you eat corn, choose fresh corn instead of canned corn loaded with sugar and salt. And most importantly, balance them with low-starch vegetables like broccoli, spinach, or fresh cucumber. Remember this, not every vegetable is your heart's best friend. Some, if cooked the wrong way or eaten in excess, can become hidden enemies. By making smarter choices, you give yourself the chance to live longer, stay stronger, and significantly reduce your risk of stroke and heart attack. Part 3. Practical advice. No. After we've talked about all those vegetables that can quietly raise your risk of stroke and heart attack, I want to pause for a moment and share something even more important with you, how to actually stay safe and healthy. I always tell my patients, knowledge only matters when it turns into action. You can listen to me list all the foods to avoid, but without clear direction, it's easy to end up confused or even discouraged. That's why I want to give you some of the most practical advice I've learned from working with older adults for over 30 years. First, remember this, every body is different. If you're living with high blood pressure, diabetes, or heart disease, you should always check with your doctor or nutrition expert before making big changes to your diet. I once had a patient in his late 60s who suddenly changed his diet based on a friend's advice, and his blood pressure spiked dangerously. Sometimes just one wrong choice can cost you your health. Second, pay attention to how you cook your food. I know many of us love fried or pickled dishes. They're tasty and convenient, but the extra salt and fat quietly damage your heart. I often suggest steaming, boiling, or baking instead. With just a simple change in cooking methods, your meals can still be delicious while being much gentler on your heart. Another thing that's often overlooked, portion control. Even healthy vegetables can become a burden if you eat too much. I sometimes ask my patients, do you want to feel full for a moment, or do you want to live longer to enjoy more years with your family? That question usually makes them pause and think differently. A smart choice is to go for fresh or frozen vegetables without added salt or preservatives. Don't let those packaged, processed veggies fool you. They often hide sodium and chemicals that stress your body. Give your heart the freshness it deserves from nature's real gifts. And finally, don't forget, nutrition is just one piece of the health puzzle. To truly protect yourself from stroke and heart attack, combine good food with gentle movement, a walk in the park, a few stretches, or morning yoga, and make sure you keep up with regular health checkups. Living healthy isn't about changing everything overnight. It's a journey, one small but steady step at a time, and I'm here to walk that journey with you. You see, just a few vegetables that seem healthy can actually be silently damaging your arteries, raising your blood pressure, and bringing your stroke risk closer every single day. And the scariest part, most of the time, we don't even realize it until it's too late. But don't worry. Nature has also given us some silent bodyguards. These are vegetables that not only taste great, but can also clean out your arteries, reduce inflammation, lower your blood pressure, and keep your brain sharp for years to come. Right after this, I'm going to share the 10 best vegetables that everyone over 50 should eat every single day. This is your simple, natural key, no complicated medicine needed that can significantly cut your stroke risk and help you regain clarity, energy, and vitality. Let's dive in. Hey folks, let's take a slow, gentle step into a little corner of life that we sometimes overlook, shall we? Have you ever wondered why stroke or heart attack creeps up on us as the years pile on? Picture this, a river flowing inside your body, the blood running through your heart and brain. A stroke happens when that river gets blocked, usually by a blood clot or when blood pressure shoots up too high, putting strain on the fragile blood vessels of U.S. seniors. And what about a heart attack? That's when your heart doesn't get enough oxygen because the flow gets cut off. I've sat with so many senior patients seeing the fear in their eyes when they hear those words. But you know what? After 30 years working with folks over 50, I've realized something 8% of these cases can be prevented if we take care of ourselves the right way. And that's the hope we're going to explore together today. Now, let me share a little secret that nature has gifted us. Think of veggies as quiet friends silently guarding the blood river in U.S. seniors. I remember one of my patients, Ellen, 68 years old, who was worried sick about her unstable blood pressure. One day she started adding kale and beets to her meals, and just a few months later, she laughed and told me, "David, I feel lighter than ever." The secret's right here. Veggies hold treasures like potassium, helping lower blood pressure, fiber, cleaning out those blood vessels, and antioxidants, stopping tiny damages we don't even see. A study from Harvard, which I often turn to, shows that eating 5 servings of veggies a day can cut your stroke risk by 26%. Imagine that a simple salad or a smoothie could be your shield against stroke and heart attack. So which 10 veggies will walk this journey with us seniors? Let's dive in and find out together, shall we? Hey folks, let's step together into nature's garden, a place full of simple yet powerful gifts. Today I want to introduce you to a special friend, okra, a veggie I've always seen bring joy to us seniors. Have you ever held an okra pod in your hand, felt its softness, and wondered what's hiding inside? I want you to picture it like a quiet guardian watching over the blood flowing through your brain and heart. Over 30 years walking with folks over 50, I've seen okra work wonders thanks to a special fiber called mucilage. It's like a little buddy slowing down how your body takes in sugar, protecting those fragile blood vessels from inflammation, and keeping your blood pressure steady, something us seniors need more than ever. I remember Susan, a 65-year-old friend, with a warm smile. She used to worry about high cholesterol, a fear I've seen in so many patients' eyes. One day she decided to toss some okra into her favorite soup every week. Just 2 months later, she called me, voice brimming with excitement. "David, my cholesterol dropped 10%. I feel so much lighter." Have you ever thought a tiny change like that could bring such big joy? That's the power of simple choices, and I believe you can feel it too. So why not try it with me? Steam some okra with a drizzle of olive oil and garlic for 10 minutes. The aroma will fill your home like a peaceful afternoon. Or you could stir fry it with tomatoes and bell peppers, tasty and easy, just like my grandma used to make. And here's a tip from my heart: chop it up small to make it easier to chew, especially if your teeth aren't what they used to be, and skip the frying. Let's keep that cholesterol from creeping back. I've seen too many seniors regret choosing unhealthy cooking methods, and I don't want that for you. Think about it. Every meal is a chance to love yourself. Okra isn't just a veggie, it's a step toward a healthier you. On this journey, I want you to savor every moment, every flavor, and feel proud of caring for your heart and brain. Are you ready to explore more veggie friends with me? 2. Beets. We've just talked about the quiet power of okra. Now let's move on to a vegetable bursting with color beets. That deep red looks almost like the heartbeat of life itself. Beets are a natural treasure rich in nitrates, compounds that turn into nitric oxide once inside your body. Think of it as someone opening up the narrow roads in your blood vessels. This helps relax those vessels, lower blood pressure, a major concern for us seniors, and even sharpen memory like a precious gift when we start to forget the little things. I recall a study from Wake Forest University, a place I often turn to for insights, showing that beets may hold the key to smooth blood flow, protecting you from dangers like stroke and heart attack. Have you ever felt that worry when your blood pressure numbers aren't where you'd like them to be? I've seen it in my patients' eyes, and beets have become a reliable friend for many of them. I remember David, a 70-year-old friend with a gentle smile. He used to struggle with blood pressure that went up and down, weighing down his days. Then one day he started drinking beet smoothies 3 times a week, a small habit with big meaning. Just a few months later, he called me, his voice full of joy. "Doctor, my blood pressure is steadier than ever, and my mind feels clearer. Would you like to feel that too? A fresh morning with a strong heart." That's something I've witnessed in hundreds of patients, and it always reminds me of nature's strength. So why not give it a try? Make a beet smoothie with apple and a touch of ginger. The natural sweetness will surprise you like a morning gift from nature. Or if you prefer something warm, roast beets with a little honey. The aroma will bring the whole family together. Drink it in the morning to start your day full of energy. But if your stomach is sensitive, avoid eating them raw steam or cook them lightly instead. I've seen too many seniors feel discomfort from overlooking this, and I want you to enjoy every meal comfortably. Every time you add beets to your plate, it's not just another veggie, it's an act of caring for your future. Let's keep adding these colors of life to our journey, one vegetable at a time. Hey folks, we've just felt the vibrant power of beets together, a friend that's lit up the health journey for us seniors. But this garden still holds so many wonders. And today I want to take you to a different hue purple cabbage, like a natural painting, whispering the secrets of life. Have you ever gazed at those purple leaves and wondered what's hiding deep inside? I want you to imagine it as a gentle shield protecting your heart and brain from the challenges of aging. Let's explore a bit of this magic together. Purple cabbage holds a special compound called anthocyanin, a quiet hero fighting inflammation, that sneaky enemy that makes our seniors' blood vessels fragile. It also helps block dangerous plaque buildup in the arteries, cutting the risk of stroke and heart attack worries I often see in my patients' eyes. I recall a simple study I often revisit showing that this natural purple isn't just pretty, it's a strong shield for your health. Have you ever felt the weight of high blood pressure making your days feel heavy? I've sat with so many listening to their concerns, and purple cabbage has become a key part of their journey back to balance. I remember Anna, a 68-year-old friend with a radiant smile, though she's sometimes worried about her health. She once faced the risk of high blood pressure, a concern many of us seniors share. One day she decided to add purple cabbage to her favorite salad every day. Just a few months later, she called me, voice brimming with excitement. "David, I feel so much stronger, and my doctor says my blood pressure's stable." Can you believe a beautiful color like that could bring health? That's what I've seen over the years, and it always reminds me that nature has the answers. So let's bring purple cabbage into the kitchen together. Try making a plate of purple cabbage salad with olive oil and a splash of lemon. The tangy taste will wake up your palate like a fresh morning. Or if you prefer warmth, lightly steam it with garlic. The aroma will invite the family to gather. And here's a tip from my heart: slice it thin to make it easier to chew, especially if your teeth aren't as strong as before. And if you can eat it raw, to keep those antioxidants, the little guardians for your heart and brain. I've seen too many seniors miss out on this benefit because they didn't know how to prepare it, and I want you to savor every delicious moment. Think about it every time you add purple cabbage to your meal. It's not just a veggie, it's a brushstroke of care on the canvas of your life. Life is a painting, and each color, like purple cabbage, is a meaningful stroke protecting you from stroke and heart attack. On this journey, I want you to feel every breath, every flavor, and take pride in loving yourself. Are you ready to explore more veggie friends with me? Stick around because our garden still has so much waiting for us. My friends, let's talk about a green vegetable that feels like a gentle breeze for both your heart and your brain: spinach. I like to think of spinach as a quiet healer. Inside these tender green leaves are powerful gifts: potassium, magnesium, and folate. These little nutrients help lower blood pressure, reduce homocysteine, a compound that can silently damage your blood vessels, and they protect the precious pathways carrying blood to your heart and brain. I'll never forget my friend Tom, age 73. He used to worry about an irregular heartbeat, but then he started adding spinach to his morning scrambled eggs. Just a few months later, he told me with a big smile, "David, my heartbeat feels steady and I feel stronger than ever." It's amazing how a small choice can bring so much peace. So how can you enjoy spinach? Try scrambled eggs with spinach, quick, simple, and tasty. Or a warm bowl of spinach and potato soup. It feels like a comforting hug. And here's a tip: lightly steam your spinach to lower oxalates. This is especially important if you've ever had kidney stones. Every time you add spinach to your plate, remember it's more than just a vegetable. It's a moment of peace for your heart. Life is like a song, and spinach is one of those gentle notes that protect you from stroke and heart attack. So tell me, are you ready to invite spinach into your meals and give your... My friends, we've just talked about spinach, that gentle friend for seniors. Now let's meet another powerful green: kale. Think of kale as a strong soldier standing tall to protect your heart and brain. Kale is packed with two mighty nutrients. First, potassium, which helps balance your blood pressure. Second, vitamin K, which keeps calcium from hardening inside your arteries. Together, they guard you against stroke and heart attack. I'll never forget Linda, a 67-year-old friend. She used to worry about her high blood pressure, something many of us know too well. Then she started making a kale smoothie each morning, just kale, banana, and nut milk. A few months later, she called me excited: "David, my blood pressure dropped 15 points and I feel full of energy." So how can you enjoy kale? Try a refreshing kale smoothie with banana, or saute kale with garlic and olive oil. It's simple, delicious, and heart-friendly. Here's a tip: massage the leaves with lemon juice to reduce bitterness. A small trick that makes a big difference. Every time you add kale to your plate, remember it's more than just a vegetable. It's a whisper of strength for your soul. Kale is one bold note in the symphony of life, protecting you from stroke and heart attack. So tell me, are you ready to invite kale into your meals and give your heart that strong protection? So we've just felt the strong power of kale, and now I want to take you to a more gentle vegetable: broccoli. It's like a soft melody playing through the later years of life. Broccoli is truly a natural treasure. It's packed with vitamin K, fiber, and nutrients that improve blood flow, lower cholesterol, a big concern for many seniors, and protect your vessels from dangers like stroke and heart attack. I remember a simple study I often revisit showing how this humble vegetable can be a key to keeping your blood pressure and your heart steady. Have you ever felt worried when your cholesterol went up, making your days feel heavier? I've sat with so many people listening to their concerns, and time after time, broccoli became a quiet part of their journey back to peace. I think of Paul, a kind 71-year-old friend. He used to worry about high cholesterol, something many seniors face. Then one day he began adding broccoli to his favorite soup twice a week. Just a few months later, he called me with excitement: "David, my cholesterol dropped so much and I feel stronger than ever." Wouldn't you like to feel that too, your heart beating light and free? That's what I've seen again and again over the decades, and it always renews my faith in the power of simple meals. So let's bring broccoli into the kitchen together. Try a warm bowl of creamy broccoli soup. Just simmer it with a little potato, and the taste will feel like a comforting hug from family. or simply steam it with a touch of salt and pepper. Simple, but so nourishing. And here's a tip from my heart. If chewing is hard, blend it smooth. Add a splash of milk if you can. It makes digestion easier. Too many people miss out on its benefits just because they don't prepare it the right way, and I don't want that for you. Think about this every time you add broccoli to your plate. It's not just a vegetable, it's a melody of care for your heart. Life itself is like a song, and broccoli is one gentle note protecting you from stroke and heart attack. On this journey, I want you to feel every heartbeat, every breath, and be proud that you're showing love to yourself. So are you ready to explore more of these vegetable friends with me? Stay with me. Our garden still has many gifts waiting for you. After the gentle melody of broccoli, a friend that brings peace to seniors, let's welcome a familiar yet surprisingly powerful vegetable, tomato, like a warm ray of sunshine lighting up the later years of life. Tomatoes are a natural treasure rich in lycopene, a quiet hero that helps reduce the risk of stroke and heart attack by protecting blood vessels from damage. I remember a simple study I often revisit showing that lycopene may be the key to keeping blood pressure and the hearts of seniors strong and steady. Have you ever felt that worry when hearing about health risks, making your days feel heavy and gray? I've sat with so many people listening to their fears, and tomatoes became an important part of their journey back to freshness and vitality. I remember Maria, a 69-year-old friend with a radiant smile. She used to worry about her pale skin and her unstable heart health, something many of us seniors know all too well. One day, she started adding tomatoes to her favorite salad every single day. Just a few months later, she called me, her voice filled with excitement. "David, my skin looks rosier and my heart feels stronger." Wouldn't you love to feel that too? A fresh, glowing skin and a powerful heart. That's something I've witnessed over decades, and it always strengthens my belief in the healing power of simple foods. So come with me into the kitchen with tomatoes. Try making a tomato salad with basil and a little mozzarella. The freshness will win you over from the very first bite. Or simmer a pot of homemade tomato sauce. It fills the home with warmth like a cozy family evening. And here's my heartfelt tip. Cook your tomatoes to boost lycopene absorption. A little trick I learned from my patients. I've seen too many people miss out on this benefit by eating them only raw, and I want you to enjoy every meal to the fullest. Each time you add tomatoes to your plate, it's not just a vegetable, it's a ray of hope for your heart. Life is a painting, and tomatoes are a vibrant brushstroke shielding you from stroke and heart attack. This morning, as the sun rises, I want you to feel every heartbeat, every breath, and be proud that you're showing love to yourself. Are you ready to explore more of these vegetable friends with me? Stay with me because our garden still has so many treasures waiting for you. We've just felt the radiant sunshine from the tomato, a dear friend bringing life to seniors. But our garden still holds more warmth, and today I want to bring you to something sweet, the sweet potato, like a little flame that warms the chilly winters of aging. Have you ever held a sweet potato in your hand, felt its roundness, its golden flesh, and wondered what treasures lie inside? I want you to picture the sweet potato as a gentle companion, quietly embracing your heart and brain with kindness. Sweet potatoes are a natural treasure rich in potassium and fiber, like little friends that balance blood pressure, cleanse blood vessels, and lower the risk of stroke and heart attack. I remember a simple study I often go back to showing how this root could be a key to keeping seniors strong and full of energy. Have you ever felt weighed down by high blood pressure or extra pounds? I've listened to so many who have, and sweet potatoes have been part of their journey back to lightness. I think of Henry, a kind 74-year-old friend with a gentle smile. He used to worry about weight gain and unstable blood pressure, something many seniors like us struggle with. One day he decided to swap his French fries for baked sweet potatoes and paired them with a bit of protein like fish. Just a few months later, he called me, his voice full of excitement. "David, I've lost 11 pounds and I feel healthier than ever." Wouldn't you like to feel that too? A lighter body and a stronger heart. Over the decades, I've seen this countless times, and it always strengthens my belief in the power of small changes. Baked sweet potatoes are wonderful. Try roasting them with a pinch of cinnamon, and the aroma will fill the air like a peaceful morning. Or cook up a bowl of sweet potato and carrot soup as warm as a family hug. And here's my heartfelt advice: pair them with protein, like fish or beans, to balance your nutrition. It's a little trick I've learned from my patients. Too many people miss out on this benefit by eating them alone, and I want you to enjoy every meal fully. Sweet potatoes are not just another vegetable, it's a warm embrace for your soul. Life is a fire, and sweet potatoes are a gentle spark that shields you from the stroke and heart attack. Sweet potato has already brought us comfort and lightness in our senior years. But now let's welcome the red bell pepper like a morning ray of sunshine brightening the days of aging. Have you ever held a red bell pepper in your hand, admired its radiant color, and wondered what secret treasures lie within? Red bell pepper is a natural treasure packed with a vitamin C, like a tiny hero protecting your blood vessels from damage, fighting inflammation, and lowering the risk of stroke and heart attack. I often go back to a simple study that showed how this vegetable can be a key to keeping seniors vibrant and full of life. Have you ever felt that lingering fatigue, like your body is missing a spark of energy? I've listened to countless people share that feeling, and red bell pepper has become a vital part of their journey back to freshness. I remember Jane, one of my patients, 66 years old with a bright, beautiful smile. She used to worry about persistent fatigue, something so common among seniors like us. One day she decided to add red bell pepper to her favorite stir fry once a week. Just a few months later, she called me, her voice filled with joy. "David, I don't feel tired anymore. My body feels alive again." Would you like to feel that too? A day bursting with energy and a heart beating strong. That's what I've witnessed for decades, and it always reminds me of the power hidden in colorful foods. Try stir-frying bell peppers with chicken. The aroma will spread like a cozy evening at home. Or stuff them with rice and beans for a dish that's both delicious and nourishing. And here's a piece of advice straight from my heart: cut them into smaller pieces to make chewing easier, especially if your teeth aren't as strong as before. And if you can eat them raw to keep all the vitamin C intact, a little tip I learned from my own patients. I've seen too many people miss out on these benefits simply because they didn't know how to prepare them, and I want you to savor every meal to the fullest. Red bell pepper is not just a vegetable, it's a burst of life for your soul. Life is like a painting, and the red bell pepper is that radiant stroke of color protecting you from stroke and heart attack. Finally, I want to take you to a humble yet powerful vegetable: onion. To me, it's like a lifelong friend quietly warming our later years. Onion is a natural treasure packed with quercetin, a tiny hero that fights inflammation, prevents plaque buildup in the arteries, and lowers the risk of stroke and heart attack. I remember a simple study I'd often go back to showing that this vegetable could be the key to keeping seniors strong and sharp. Have you ever felt anxious when your blood pressure spikes or when your vessels seem stiff? I've sat with so many people listening to their worries, and onion has become an important part of their journey back to peace of mind. I think of Mike, a warm-hearted 70-year-old friend of mine. He used to be troubled by unstable blood pressure, a struggle many seniors like us know too well. One day he began adding onion to his favorite soup every week. Just a few months later, he called me, his voice full of joy. "David, my blood pressure is more stable, and I feel lighter. Freer. Wouldn't you want to feel that too? A calm, steady heart with every beat." Over the decades, I've seen it happen again and again, and it keeps me believing in the quiet power of simple foods. A bowl of French onion soup, its aroma filling the air like a cozy family evening. Or roasted onion with a drizzle of olive oil, the sweetness will surprise you. And here's a little tip: cooking onion helps soften its strong bite, making it easier to enjoy, especially if you're sensitive to the sharp smell. It's a trick I learned from my patients, and it works. Too many people miss out on these benefits simply because they don't know how to prepare it, and I don't want that to be you. Together, we've just walked through the silent strength of 10 vegetables from the garden of life. They guard us against stroke and heart attack and stand as loyal companions for seniors. But our journey doesn't stop here. I want us to take one more step, turning this knowledge into daily habits like a promise we make to ourselves for a healthier, brighter tomorrow. Before we wrap things up, let me share a few important notes that I always remind my senior patients. First, please check with your doctor before making big changes to your diet, especially if you're living with conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, kidney disease, or heart problems. Every body is different, and what works beautifully for one person may not be the right fit for another. Second, focus on healthy cooking methods. Vegetables are at their best when you boil, steam, or make soups instead of frying them in too much oil or adding a lot of salt. Simple, gentle cooking not only keeps the nutrients, but also helps lower the risk of high blood pressure and cholesterol. And finally, remember portion control. Even the healthiest vegetables can cause trouble if we overdo them. The key is balance, eat a variety just enough, and pair them with fish, beans, or whole grains for steady long-term health. With mindful eating and a little daily movement, you'll be giving your heart and brain the care they truly deserve. My friend, after going through this journey together, we've seen a powerful truth. The simple choices you make at the dinner table every day can shape the health of your arteries and your brain. Some vegetables that look harmless can quietly damage your arteries, while others are incredibly powerful, protecting you from stroke, improving blood flow, and keeping your memory sharp. The good news is you don't need to change everything overnight. Just start with one small step, choosing the right vegetables and preparing them in a healthier way, and you're already giving your body the chance to heal and rejuvenate. I've seen patients in their 60s, 70s, even 80s completely turn their health around with simple changes like this. And I truly believe you can do it too, because prevention is always easier than treatment, and your health is the most valuable gift you deserve. If this video has been helpful, please hit like so I know you want more content like this. Don't forget to share it with your friends and loved ones so they can also protect their brain and heart health. And most importantly, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any of the powerful health tips I create just for people over 50. Remember, you are never too old to start fresh. Begin today for a healthier, sharper, and more energetic tomorrow.